Hi guys, it's Christian here, and I'm here to do a reading for the sign of Capricorn. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. And yeah, this is going to be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You can also check out your rising sign videos and your moon videos to see if you have messages there as well. I'm going to start off the reading with a wild unknown animal spirit card. Why does that particular card keep on flying out? Keep on turning over? Am I tripping? I thought I saw a card turned over. Maybe I didn't see a card turned over. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. Let's turn back into our regularly scheduled program. Okay, let's see. Spirit, what do we have for Capricorn for the month of October? Ooh. All right, so clearly with the stingray and the oyster here, this could be something that you guys are kind of holding back, or this is like not speaking your truth and not standing in your truth. With the oyster here, this is where we're kind of concealing something away from everybody, and maybe with it being this harder exterior, the stingray can be a little bit of a kind of like a spine. When I say spineless, I don't mean you're spineless, but it's a spineless animal. So sometimes it can have a hard time having a backbone or standing up for itself. And I think that deep down inside, there's something that you've kind of been keeping yourself away from saying or sharing with people or sharing with a particular someone to be able to have them treat you in a different way. It's almost like you're not standing up for yourself, and maybe you're keeping your true intentions kind of hidden. That's for some of you. For the others of you, I feel like you have this very, very, very hard exterior that you're portraying, or that you're giving off. And when you do that, you kind of hide the most special part of yourself, and in that, it makes you not really be able to stand up for yourself in that kind of way. So this is about standing up for yourself either way that it goes. For some of you, particularly situation wise, there's a particular situation that you're not speaking on, but for the collective, when you don't show your true feelings, you are not standing up for yourself. That's the same thing. So people can say like, oh, I do stand up for myself. Anytime anybody says something to me, I check them, or when they do this to me, I do this back. Yes, that is one form of standing up for yourself, but also standing up for yourself is saying, hey, my feelings were hurt. Hey, this didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. Hey, I wish that you would treat me differently. Hey, when you do this, it makes me feel like this. That really hurt me. You know, that really that I felt like that held me back. I didn't have understanding in that. Can you explain that to me? Because then you get the answers that you need to help you grow from some of the situations, and you get the confidence in your emotions to be able to speak them a little bit more, and you're able to understand yourself, because that part of yourself isn't hidden to be protected with just you. And then you only give the hard exterior, and people don't really know how to respond to that. Because a lot of these people with the stingray and the oyster, when you get into that space to where you freeze up, or where you lock up, or where you become very, very, very tightened, they're not ever going to, like, this is, if this is what we're doing as a result of being hurt, and we're expecting for someone to come and to kind of pry us open to get to the bottom of what it is, these people that are the stingray type of people are not equipped to do that, or to go that far. So what happens is this person treats you like crap, right? They do something to you that you don't like. Let's say treat you, because some people that love you even do things that hurt, right? So you say, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna harden up, and I'm not gonna tell them anything, and I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be like stern. I'm gonna be fixed, you know, and give that kind of Capricorn thing, that very dry. You guys know what I'm talking about. I love y'all. I'm an earth sign too, so I understand. But you guys give that very cold, that coldness. And we think that in that coldness, that someone's going to say, hey, why are you acting cold? Hey, why are you treating me like this? Why are you not talking to me? And why are you not doing this? But what's happening is you're getting an adverse effect, because these are people that say, oh my God, that's scary. Like, that's a scary person. Not scary like you're going to do something to them, but that energy of someone standing up for themselves or protecting themselves with force or with brute, they're not used to that, because they don't stand up for themselves like that. They don't know how to do that in that kind of way. They probably don't even know how to stand up for themselves. They don't stand for anything, some of them. And that is not the way to get the response out of them. So you have to kind of meet, if you want the situations to change or to grow, you have to meet them at their level of where they are. And this is not to say to act spineless, but as you can see, this is kind of showing, they're showing their emotions, they're showing how they feel, they're expressing them, you know, that they're showing that right there. And this is the opposite. So it's these two different extremes that we're kind of facing. But this is more so, I think this is both of these are you, but we're learning about how to let our guard down a little bit to be able to get things accomplished. Not so that people can walk all over us, but this is a super strength. This is a superpower to be able to be vulnerable. And as you're vulnerable, then you get things out of it that help you to be able to be in a space where being vulnerable is not as bad, because now it's something that you've removed the things in your life that make it hard for you to be able to be yourself and to express yourself, right? By communicating. If you don't ever tell this person what they did to hurt you, but you just act mean to them, there's a chance that they may do it to you again. Or you act cold to them, there's a chance that they may do it again. If you give them the opportunity, all the difference is made when you say, hey, you're doing this, and if you do it again, this is how I'm going to respond. Then when you give that person an opportunity and they do it now, this won't feel as bad. And then you'll just remove the person, and then you can go back to being more open, and you can try it again with the next person. And then if it doesn't work, then you know to move on from them instead of just clamming up, because it'll keep you from growing or growing out of that stage. And for some of you, it could be something you've been doing for a long time. Maybe it's just a coping mechanism, and that's just kind of how you kind of respond to things. It's nothing wrong with that. We all just living, trying to figure out the best way to function. So it's nothing wrong with it. But if you see a habit that's debilitating you, then hey, let's just fix it so we can we can live a more fulfilling life, or have more fulfilling experiences emotionally. I'm gonna pull from the Fuzzy Prism Oracle deck. Let's see what we have for Capricorn. So yes, this is letting that all out, exhale. This is keeping it all bound up. I kept on doing the fist because I feel like it's really like a clenchy, kind of like holding on to things, really tough. Yeah, and this is like, look, the trust here, like being able to trust people, not being in spaces to where you can't trust people, because this energy is like backstabby, kind of grimy, like don't stand for anything. They'll fall for for everything. They'll like leave, whatever the case, they'll do whatever to keep themselves intact. And that's just this energy. And it may not be a particular person or particular situation, but that is the energy that kind of that can be around you at times, even if not now. And don't allow that energy to keep you from because the pearl is beautiful. That's what's inside of this oyster. I always say clam. What's inside of this oyster right here. So there's something very beautiful in you that's meant to be shared with the world. But if you find yourself clenching it and holding on to it, then that means that you must be in a situation where you don't feel safe to be yourself. And if you're feeling like you can't breathe, like you're suffocating in that space, holding on tighter and being harder doesn't help you get any more closer to being able to live a more authentic life. It actually pulls you further from that. So you can practice now, and as you practice now, and you start to reveal more of yourself to the world, the world can see the pearl, then the environment starts to change to match the beauty of that. Even if these people do fall away, they may not adhere to whatever you say or whatever you recommend, but you got to trust that the people that fall out of your life after you have laid out the lines for them of what you need from them, then they're not meant to be there. You have to kind of trust in that. All right. So that's that on that. Let's see what's next for you guys. Let's pull some tarot cards. Let's see what Spirit has. What do we? Let's turn this one over. Yeah, five of wands. Not surprised, because that could be a lot of this going on around. If there's a lot of noise and kind of like immaturity, kind of like competition and all of that, of course you feel like you can't be yourself, or you're in an environment to where you feel like you cannot fully express yourself or fully be yourself, because you feel like you're in a space with people who are not mature enough to be able to understand you, or if this is like a workplace or something like that, you're working, your coworkers are everybody has their own like agenda or plan, and it doesn't necessarily mean that these are bad plans or anything like this. It's just that everybody is out for self. It's like survival right there. So you want to maybe because you know that everybody's in survival mode. It's kind of like you already kind of got the feeling there, hey, they'll do anything because these people are just trying to survive. So it makes you protect yourself, and that's cool to be like that. But it's not cool to for that to be your norm, right? Because it keeps you in this almost like in flight or flight all the time. And that drains your energy. It drains your body. I mean, it wears down your body. It brings your vibration down, so that you can't see things when you can't see when blessings and things are coming your way, because of the perspective that you get pulled down to, that you get dragged down to. Okay. So yeah, that's the 5 right there. Let's see. The next thing you got is the king. Is the King of Wands. So yeah, it's kind of like, it's funny because I see the King of Wands kind of looking at everything kind of going on, or kind of going on around them, and they're kind of sitting there like, yeah, you guys are gonna do that, but I'm gonna be over here doing my thing. So for some of you, like, this is a situation where you may be not in it, but you're around it. It's so funny because I felt like it was somebody I was doing a reading for that I was saying it's not them, but they're around it. I wish that I could remember who I said whose reading this was about. Whose reading this time this was. I feel like I just did this yesterday. I can't remember whose reading it was, but you may not be involved in it, but you're around it. And what happens with that is it affects what you can. I started to do the reading for Capricorn yesterday, and then I stopped because I was like, oh, I need a break. I needed to take a little rest before I finished it, because my readings are kind of long. But yeah, this is you kind of looking at it from a distance, kind of saying, okay, everybody has what they're doing. I have what I'm planning on doing, and this is asking that you, if you're in a situation to where you become lost in the midst of it, that you rise above, because you have the maturity to be able to know what's going on with everybody. It's almost like survival, this instinct. This king kind of worked his way through all of these situations to be able to be in his position of power, to be able to have control of his own will and control of himself. So what I want you to know is that if you're in a situation to where you feel like you cannot be yourself because of people around you, or you cannot express yourself, then you're not in control of your will in that situation, because that means that somebody else is controlling your freedom, because that being authentic is living in freedom. So if anything prevents you from living in freedom, then it's you not being in control of that particular situation. So this is kind of the energy of do whatever you can to make it. You have to aggressively go against this kind of energy in your life, but to aggressively do that, it's not what you think. It's not fighting fire with fire, which the King of Wands has his wand here, and then you see all of them with their wands. That's not the type of energy that the King of Wands uses. He's clever, so he's using his will to express himself, and to let that be the tune, to talk from his heart, and to feel and to speak passionately instead of cutting himself off, because that passion in his voice when he speaks out, or when she speaks out, because this is not necessarily just a male or a woman, it's just an energy, but this is active energy of communicating the will, and communicating your beliefs and what you need, and what is in you to be, where you're going, and what is in you to give, and what is in you to do, and communicating that. And that's what wins the battle, the war, not the battle, but that's what kind of ceases all of that. You can't allow your environment to stop you from being yourself. Being yourself more will make your environment match. If anything, this means that you succumb to the environment, so nothing grows, nothing changes. Okay, so that's that on that. Let's see. That's that on that kind of guy. One day I'm gonna have a shirt to say that's that on that. Here, what's the next thing that we have here for? Look at you moving away from it. So yeah, this is when you do that. This is where you go into. You get out of all of the chaos. You bring more harmony into your life. And then you're moving on from this. For some of you, this could be an actual move. For some of you, you could be traveling. For sure, because the King of Wands can be kind of like a Sagittarius energy. This is a Sagittarius energy here. This is traveling. This is getting away from all of the calamity of this right here. But first, in order to do that, you have to see it for what it is. And you see it for what it is by standing in your power and not letting something be in control of you, but of you being in control of it, okay? And taking action to be able to fix the situation. Also, another thing here is with the King of Wands and having the Six of Swords here, this is completing out a situation before you move on. So this King is facing this 5. The 5 is all about change. This is all about using your will, using your power to change something before you move on from it. So if there have been times in your life or in your experience where you just upped and just left, because that can be this right here. This is very cold. It's very, I'm out of here. I'm going to leave. Well, the situation will keep following you because you as a king didn't really take, you just got off your throne. You didn't really handle the situation. So energetically, it comes back in again and again and again until we can resolve it. It'll keep on presenting itself, whether it's at work, it's at home, it's in your relationships. It'll keep on presenting itself until you kill the energy of that. The thing that kills the energy of that is your most vulnerable part of yourself. And I know, Caps, that can be kind of hard for you guys because you guys are a little bit hardy. We're earth signs. We don't really want to be in the watery space. We don't really have footing in water. So this is you knocking it out once and for all. Everybody has to grow in different kind of ways. That's this card right here. Everybody grows in different ways, and this is you being able to see that in other people, so you don't hold them captive or hold them prisoner of that belief or of them going on their own path. And in that, it frees up the energy to where you can be free to be yourself. And being yourself means to be able to show the side of yourself that you don't, the side of yourself that you keep hidden away, the beautiful, sweet part of yourself, the intuitive part of yourself, the more feminine aspect of yourself. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Capricorn is a masculine sign. Am I wrong? I might be wrong, but I believe it is. Let me see if I can find that out. But I believe it's like it's a very masculine sign. So sometimes those things of the kind of like the emotional side of things aren't necessarily, you know, the easiest of things for Capricorn to kind of like to do, right? Because you guys like to make moves and to have movement, like firm feet on the ground kind of movement. You guys are the achiever, the climber. So that's like, we can do that another day, right? But it's saying if it keeps on appearing back, it's because it's something that you need to be able to advance, especially if you're going to go from being like a 5 of wands place to being a King of Wands, because these are kids, right? So this is a big maturation between the two. All right. So I'll pull from this one for you guys. Let's see. We're going to pull some cards to clarify. Spirit, clarify the 5 of Wands. Clarify the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands, Spirit. Yeah, the Page of Pentacles here. Let's see. I want to clarify the Page of Pentacles. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm sorry. So yeah, as I'm getting this, as I'm getting this Page of Pentacles right here, whenever I think about the Page of Pentacles, I'm always thinking about someone that's very, very focused on what they're doing. They're very, very focused on learning. It's a page that's a student, but also somebody that's very, 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 very careful with their. This is kind of like that feeling right there, where like, oh, I need to hold on to the special things in me, my special skills, my special parts. I think what I want to say here with this is the reason why, if you're wondering why Spirit keeps on bringing this situation back with the judgment card, because it keeps on bringing back the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. One of the things is because it's trying to bring up the theme of how can I say this? You're looking, when you look at people and when you observe people, when they're making their movements that are out of alignment with what you think that they should be making, whether it affects you or not, because like I said, the King of Wands is here. You're not over here in the midst of this. It can be a little bit he can be a little bit fiery when things don't go the way that he wants them to go, and he can be a little bit forceful, which is this kind of energy that I'm talking about, where it can be like shut down if a person doesn't move the way that they want them to move. And this is asking that you understand the aspect that everybody has their reasons for going the direction that they go in, to not take offense to them, to that you have a direction that you should be going into, and maybe some of the same things are the same ways that you look at people, and I'm kind of getting the sense of like weakness or sensitivity, where you're like, toughen up, be a tougher cookie. Like maybe you should you know, go a little bit harder for yourself, and this sense of being very hard on yourself, very foot to the pavement kind of thing. And maybe that was instilled to you by a parent or by life to make you kind of be that way. But what the thing that you're seeing in them is a reflection of the thing that's being suppressed inside of yourself. And the reason that it makes you so upset, or it triggers you to see them that way, is because it's a part of yourself that that's been suppressed, that has not been expressed or explored yet. So the Page of Pentacles here, another thing that I'm getting here is that, first of all, it's a lesson for you in this. You're supposed to look at these situations and study it, especially if this is currently going on right now. Look at it intensely, like how he's looking at it and how this person is looking at this pentacle. Look at that. But through all of this chaos and through all of this mess, there's a gift that you have. Whenever you make the connection to your emotional self, this triggers something. There's a gift in it for you. Maybe for some of you, it's like a business or it's an opportunity. It elevates you because this is something that comes from it. Like you take something from it that can be turned into something else. That's what the pentacles are about, and it's a seed. So something happens in this situation that you're taking from it and you're able to expand. And if you kind of don't look at it like that opportunity, you're like, what's in it for me? Why am I even here around this? Why should I have to go and work through this and use and be vulnerable to those people, to tell them this and to tell them that? Because something comes as a result. So it's not about what's in it for them or how they'll feel about it. It's about what's in it for you. And sometimes the King of Wands can be a little bit on the prideful side. So to go to people in that way, it may feel like an insecurity, or like you're revealing, you're exposing yourself to be able to do that. But you have to be willing to do that. I'm telling you, out of that comes so much strength. You have to trust the process of what you're being kind of called to do, because this way is not working for you anymore, and life is trying to open you up a little bit more to be able to receive from it. All right. So yeah, you're kind of being called to do that right there. Let's see what's next here. The King of, oh, that came out really quick. Yep, and here you are. here's the Devil card and the King of Wands. So let me tell you what's going on with the Devil card here. First of all, this is the card of Capricorn. You see this goat right here. This is the card, but this is also you staying chained, you being constantly chained to these situations, because this is the universe trying to get you to see your vices are the things that you like to attach yourself to. And for some of you, it may be, I don't want to say, you know how people can say you like chaos, you like drama. No, I'm going to tell you what it is, because it may appear that way. You like movement, you like action, and those two things are different. So don't judge yourself for it. And also don't judge the other people for doing it. People around you may just like action just as much. Whatever you're seeing yourself, whatever you're seeing is something that you need to be released from. With the Devil card here, it's something that you're attached to, so it's something that's mirroring back to you. And until you kind of learn in that situation, you don't get the call to be released from it. So you have to learn that so that you can completely move on from it, and it can be behind you, not just in this particular situation, but that energy can be behind you completely. Okay, so don't give in to that. Also, this is the card of sobriety and not letting any addiction or anything like that kind of take over, because we're ignoring this part. Like, if we don't get to do this right here, because every human needs to be able to express themselves and to speak and to show emotion. And sometimes we think we can outsmart it and we think that we can't, but when you do that, you keep yourself attached to this lower energy, the devil, to keep yourself attached to that. It's not the devil himself, but that energy. You stay in the low vibe, and you got to kind of pick yourself up, because low vibe, the devil in this low vibration, the King of Wands, is aggressive. It can be manipulative. It can be my way or the highway. It can be very, very selfish, very egotistical. But when it's not in the devil energy, man, this King of Wands can accomplish anything that you put in front of him. He sees the task and he's like, you know what, I can do it. I'm confident in myself. I can be able to do it, right? And that's right with your energy. It's saying that and also too, whenever I get the signs card in a reading, that's a sign to become yourself, but to take initiative and to be passionate about being yourself. You should take pride, and we should take pride in having feelings and emotions. We are the only creature that can feel and make decisions based on the feelings. Other animals and creatures can't do that. So this is where you're understanding this element of yourself, and you're not being afraid of it coming in. You're actually welcoming that, because that's where your problem comes. That's where your power comes in, when you can fully allow yourself to be yourself. Okay. And let's see. We're gonna clarify the Six of Swords here. Look. Then you got the Queen of Wands here. So yeah, it's saying this. So let me tell you what the Queen of Wands are. The Queen of Wands. I love this reader. Her name is Dane. What's her name? I can't think of her last name. Oh man, I can't think of her other name. I can't think of her last name. But Dane. I love Dane. And what she says is, she says that King of Wands is the actor on the stage. The Queen of Wands is that same energy, but it's behind the stage, right? So you have the Six of Wands and the Queen of Wands. And once you start to I want you to know with these two things, with this, is that yeah, it takes a lot. Sometimes with the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands being right here, I want you to know that we fear particular actions. We're like, oh my God, I have to do this, right? Because that's the action that we have to take. But all actions start out as a vibration from something that's inner. So by the time it makes itself a physical manifestation where you actually have to do something, it's something that has been trying to, your inside has been telling you for so long that you've ignored it, that now, instead of this just being within yourself, with this release and this trust and this being able to express yourself and be able to let your emotions out, has been so shut in and shut off that it's outside of you now. Like the energy of that situation is outside of you now, so that it can give you a wake-up call, which is a judgment card, to be able to look at your emotions with hey, this is important, like with importance, and to be protective with it, right? So it's not going to forever be that you have to be this person. You're not going to ever become the Capricorn that walks around like, okay, but let's talk about feelings today. You're not an earth sign. I mean, you're not a water sign. That's not going to happen. It's just not in you to do that. But so don't think about this like, oh my God, this makes me this kind of person. That's kind of this thing right here. The King of Wands in this situation, like, oh, it makes me a vulnerable person. No, it doesn't. It makes you human. And after you've done that enough, you move yourself to a place here to where you don't have to do that externally. It can be something that is felt on an inner level, because you're doing it with yourself. You're expressing yourself to yourself before it ever makes itself to manifest outwardly. And as you talk to yourself about your emotions, you find it easier and easier. You see how this is kind of moving into smoother waters to be able to express them to other people. And then it doesn't come like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do this. It doesn't put you in flight or a fight all the time. Now it's just a part of who you are. It's you fully integrated it, okay? And that's the release from this right here. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys for October. I'm gonna pull a numerology card, guidance card, a couple maybe, so we can see what advice Spirit has for you about this message. Hold on, I gotta turn over a card. The card that I turned over was pride, though. So don't let your pride get in the way. I'm not apologizing. Don't do that. That's not gonna work. Because it's not about the other person. Oh, rebirth. All right. This is bringing in a newness to you. See these people bringing in. This is the beginning of a new era. One where your feelings are not pushed down in the back, and you know, and maybe somebody made you feel like your emotions had to be pushed down. Shame on them for doing that, but it's your responsibility to make peace with that now, so that you can live in a new cycle of your life. Okay, once again, the self-discipline is going to the Devil card here. I kind of feel like it has something to do with overindulging on anything. It's not necessarily one particular thing, just overindulging in any kind of way. All right, the last card that we got is the time out card. So this may be just to take time out to be able to check in with yourself. Maybe before you express yourself, we need to come to terms with how we feel, and maybe that is something that we've kind of been doing. Like maybe another person's response to how we feel is not our responsibility, but we can at least acknowledge how we feel on our own. And if we spend some time with it, we'll kind of see that maybe it isn't crazy to feel like I feel about this situation. Maybe it isn't crazy to express what I want to express. Maybe it's just me, my perceptions making me think that I'm in a space that doesn't allow me to do that, because I can speak my mind, my heart at any time. Actually, it's my power. All right. Let's see. And then I want to pull for you guys. All right, let's see an Archangel card. All right, give me a second, guys. All right, that popped out pretty quick. Outdoors, go outside and get some fresh air and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. So you got the breathe card. This is like take a deep first step, take a deep breath. All right, that's kind of the thing that I have going on here before you let these people get you into this space, because you have self-control. You have a lot of control over yourself. So if it's like work or something like that, make sure you take a walk outside, enjoy the beauty of outside, then come back in with the renewed energy, with the renewed attitude, renewed light. All right, and for some of you, I want to put this here. You have clairaudience. This is noticing the guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. This is going to be for some of you who don't remember what I was saying about you like movement, you like action. Okay, Spirit, I got you. Let me tell you about this so you can understand. Sometimes when we have spiritual gifts like this, and everybody has spiritual gifts, I experience clairaudience. Okay, so a lot of times it's I don't want to make it sound crazy, but like right now, as I talk about these messages, I hear things, and that's kind of like how I'm saying some of the things that I'm saying. I'm seeing them. That's somewhat of a clairvoyance thing, but clairvoyance thing is more like pictures. And sometimes that happens. Everybody has a different concoction of all of these different clair gifts, right? Sometimes we just don't practice them, but when you practice them, you get really strong at them. Sometimes they can be I'm not going to say, no, let me be honest. Sometimes they can be annoying when we don't have a proper harness on them, or we don't know what's going on. So sometimes if you're sitting alone, what may happen to you is you may hear things and you may feel like, oh, my mind is just killing me. My mind keeps on talking to me, keeps on telling me to go this direction, it keeps on telling me to do this thing. it like keeps on coming back up and back up and back up. That's because even though it may sound like your voice, sometimes that is not you. That is spirit talking to you in that kind of way. And if it's telling you a lot of times to do things other than the thing that you're currently doing, sometimes they can be kind of like a, I know I'm supposed to do that. Like hitting your head, like I know that I'm supposed to go that way. I already know. It's like you want to tell yourself to shut up, right? So what can happen in that is we can end up throwing ourselves in situations that cause a lot of movement, a lot of noise, are other people's focusing on other people's things, because if we keep a silence for ourselves, then we'll get then we can hear ourselves, and then we know that we have to be guided to move on from some of the places or things that we're in. So this is this gift right here. Don't abandon it by using anything to keep yourself away from it. Any vices. The devil card is not just an addiction, but it's about vices and things like that. So this is like whatever we're using to substitute from hearing ourselves, or from tuning into ourselves, this thing right here, this part of you that's being shut off, right? And then a lot of times what we can do is we can put ourselves in environments to where we can blame the environment for why we're not tapped into that part of us, or why we're not expressing that part of us, because I don't feel safe to express myself where I can be myself. I don't feel like I can breathe, because maybe we've put ourselves in a situation so that can be the reason of why we put ourselves in a situation to where we can breathe. We kind of purposely self-sabotage ourselves without realizing it, because that's an inner child thing that the ego does. It's not really us doing that. We are, but it's subconscious. It's not something that we're knowingly doing. So this is something to just be kind of mindful of. I'm glad I pulled these cards, because that was a cool little portion of this this message. Let me see something here. All right, and remember what I was saying about this card, the time out. This card indicates a need to take time out from your busy schedule and the hustle and bustle of life. What was I just saying about this right here? And then it's funny you got the clairaudience so that you can be able to hear this, and also to trust that that voice is spirit talking to you. It's not you being crazy talking to yourself like you've probably been told. Perhaps you've been working too hard or having a lot going on. Maybe you've been too tired, irritable, or anxious, or just feeling generally unwell. If you've been feeling under stress of any kind and have been spending time in a negative or toxic environment, all right, you must remove yourself from the situation to heal and recharge. This is a perfect time to take a vacation. Even a day or two will revitalize and recharge your soul. You don't necessarily need to leave your home. You can laze around the house and unplug your computer and phone. Having an energy healing massage or facial, soaking in a hot bath, taking a walk in nature. Remember, nature came out. Or what was that say? What was this card? Outdoors. Watching a movie and reading a good book are perfect ways to unwind, center yourself, and feel a sense of renewal. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust and harmonize with the cycles. The natural rhythm and cycles that are encouraging you to take out time for you. If you're feeling overwhelmed, uncertain, or confused, the answers will present themselves during your quiet time. Clarity comes from silence, and orders follow peace. So step away from your stress and find your inner sanctuary. That's that. All right, self-discipline. This card indicates a need for self-discipline, motivation, and action to improve your quality of life. By drawing this card, you're being reminded that you need to meet the universe halfway, because your dreams won't manifest by themselves. It's time to clarify your goals and to make plans and prioritize your ideals and actions. Then take the mental, emotional, and physical action needed to make your dreams come true. You're being encouraged to rein in any thoughts and emotions that are contrary to what you're trying to attract. Rather than letting your doubts and worries consume you, you must have the strength and willpower to focus predominantly on your dreams. You can attain those goals with a strong, disciplined mind when you surrender the outcome to divine. And you guys have the power to do it, Capricorn. If anybody does, you guys have it. We're earth signs. We can do it. We can do it. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural cycles and rhythms of your life, cycles that encourage you to be motivated and strong. This is where you need to play your part. The universe will provide the opportunities, but you need to see them through. That. And lastly, the rebirth card. I think it's 16 or 13. Is it 16? 16. rebirth. This card indicates a time of major transition and transformation that will result in significant personal growth. By drawing this card, you have entered a period of spiritual awakening and rebirth where you have the opportunity to align with your higher self and the overarching principle that guides you. This is where you surrender to the changes around you and prepare to be the best you can. You're being encouraged to trust. Look, there you go with trust again. And believe that a magical future awaits. But first, you need to let go of the old in order to experience the new. Take time to reevaluate your core values and re-examine your life. Then eliminate any superficial foundations that don't align with your higher self and your dreams. This is a time to recognize and rise above any ego-based thoughts and behaviors, for humility and authenticity are the keys to your success. You're being encouraged. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are leading you towards a higher level of understanding and awareness. This transformation is inevitable, so know that this is a very exciting time for you about to become the best you can be. Yes, that's good. That's good. And then, let's see here. Before we head on out, where's this oyster? All right, so look at what this got to say. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Look, that's you. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is the oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires and life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it that you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting. When in balance, it feels blessed, it's generous, it's masterful. And when it's out of balance, it's reluctant, gripping, clams up. Okay, and it says to bring into balance, share something. So the fact that you got the Page of Pentacles, like I was telling you guys right here with this is something in this that's a gift in this situation. I always feel like sometimes like the emotional element of this is some kind of way going to lead you to something that you can manifest and materialize. This is not just, oh, you're going to have the dream. This is something you can make out of this. Maybe the things that you've been holding back can be a story to share. Maybe you're meant to write a book or to tell your story or something like that. But these things are creating that in you, but you have to start in your environment to open up towards that, or else you'll keep on shutting it further and further and further down in yourself. Okay. Then the stingray represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, the easily comfortable and familiar, and the new, the challenging, uncomfortable and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends make the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that the dilemma will surface again and again. Remember what I was saying about this coming back, and the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. So it's going to keep on showing up until you decide to make the changes necessary to alleviate yourself in those situations, okay? By being honest about them, being authentic about them, or at least being honest with yourself about them, okay? So this is the message that I have for you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading, and I will talk to you guys soon.